I live in a very small town that has most of the basics anyone could ask for, but not much more than that. I go to work walking the same route every day, there and back, but lately, on the weekends, I've been so bored I might wander over to the next block, and so on. On a few of my walks, I noticed a rather large building with people in gowns seen in the window, but without the big H for hospital on it. Asking around at work, some of my coworkers told me the government had reopened it as a mental health center. Sitting at home, I thought, really? A mental health center here? Strange. Once again, the weekend had come up and I had nothing to do, but I remembered that the library was open on Saturdays. So I headed a few blocks over to where it was. Not a huge library or anything, but I figured it must have records of that shabby building now called a mental health center. As it turned out, it did, but not much to go off of. Just says it was abandoned for some time, but then was recently renovated into what it is now. Oh well, worth a shot, and it killed a chunk of the day anyway. But there was still some daylight left, so I thought, screw it. I can walk past the building before I go home. A few blocks had passed, and now nearing the building I came to realize just how tall and pointed the fence and gate were. The grass inside was mostly brown, and the doctors that were smoking outside didn't even nod or smile when I waved. For a mental health center, this place seems to defeat its own purpose. Tired of looking around, I finally headed home, but just as I turned my head, something in one of the big windows with thick vertical blinds caught my eye. It was a young girl, with hair that matched the blinds, which I thought seemed to resemble more bars than plain blinds. I blinked, trying to clear my vision as to get a better look at her, but she had gone already. The next day I woke up around 3 in the afternoon. Now this is very odd because I never drink or stay up late, not even to finish any overdue work. I just brushed it off, thinking it must have been all the walking yesterday. Damn, Sunday is my clean the house day. I'd better get to it. Can't stay up, then be late for work in the morning. Cleaning the house went fine, except for when I was in the washroom. I was washing the mirror, and for a second, I remembered my dream of a raven-haired girl that night. But for some reason, when this happened, I got goosebumps. I just shook my head and continued on with the mirror, still with the goosebumps. Phew, now that that's over with, it's only 7, so maybe I can get a quick walk in before bed. Now walking through the neighborhoods, I thought, just for the hell of it, I'd go a few blocks down past the center this time. Still leaves on the road that had obviously been there for a while, because they crunched underfoot. Over the crunching, I heard the evening wind blow past, but there was something else to the whine as well. Walking further into the narrowing road, I heard almost what I thought was someone crying. The hair on the back of my neck stood up, but I continued on. I couldn't let my nerves get the best of me. Just because I had never been out this late, and on a new route. What if someone was hurt, and I was too much of a wuss to help? Putting my head down, I walked on. It must be near the end of the road, I thought. Trees hanging overhead now, and hardly any streetlights. Damn, end of the road, and nothing. But it is late, and I do need to get home. Turning around and walking a few steps, I heard the sobbing once more, and it was closer than before. And looking to my side, sitting with her head in her hands, the stump of the tree was a raven-haired girl. Are you alright? I asked in a pathetically scared voice. Nothing. She just continued to cry. I took a few steps closer from the road, and she suddenly stopped. My blood ran cold, but I had to make sure she's alright. Taking one more step, her head lifted a little from her hands. Then she loosely dropped her arms to the ground. Standing still for a moment, not sure what to do, I asked once again, "Are you, all right?" Suddenly she began shaking and growling unnaturally. I turned and ran as fast as I could. The blocks started to blur as I ran, with the wind tearing at my face. Once home, I locked the door and all the windows and just sat on the chair, breathing heavily. Monday had finally come the next morning, along with a sick call to my workplace and the morning paper. I didn't sleep at all, and there was no way I was going to try to explain last night to anyone at work. Picking up the paper, the second page in read, A confused patient had run away from the health center last night and is considered dangerous at the moment due to her thinking she is a dog or a wolf and will probably attack if approached. Blinking and rereading this, I thought, well, at least I now know what was wrong with her. Finishing breakfast, I had proceeded to head outside fully dressed, forgetting I had called in sick. Partway out of the drive, I sighed, remembering I had the day off. Walking back to my door, I thought I saw something black under the wooden steps that led up to the house. I ignored it and started to walk in. Just then behind me, a low growl started near my feet.